WPH Race for 8 brought to you by Edel Handball. My name is Dave Vincent alongside Dave Fink for the men's finals. Robbie McCarthy from Westmeath County, Ireland, going up against Tucson, Arizona's Luis Moreno. Our referee is now going to make the announcement here for this finals match on ESPN3.com.
Are you ready, Robbie?
Let's go ahead and listen to Emmett Peixote, our referee.
Serving. Ready, Luis?
Referee's trying to get the players to face the crowd here as we give that announcement from the Sports Mall in Salt Lake City, Utah for the Players Championship. This one match right here.
Serving from Westmeath, Ireland, Robbie McCarthy.
Dave, it's worth $20,000 for this next 1 hour and 15 minutes that these guys will be
Returning
playing.
serve, currently number 1 from Tucson, Arizona, Luis Moreno.
Luis not even turning his back to look at the crowd. That either means he's
Two
really
games,
focused.
21, tiebreaker to 11.
Normally the players will look back and wave to the crowd.
0-0.
We see none of that with Luis.
Well, you're going to see both these guys at their very best. This is the largest first-place prize money in over a decade in professional handball, and both guys had to earn their right
two-line judges
to be here
and Ashling
throughout this entire season, Dave, as this is only for the Elite 8
second serve.
that have played in all the events this season. Luis Moreno, the overwhelming number 1. He's already won 2 events this season, aiming for his 3rd. He's also won the most race events in history, Dave, by far, triple the amount of anyone else.
Wow.
Luis is just so quick, Dave. When he wants to be, there's literally no ball he can't track down.
To include that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, no formal introduction, but John Bike, Hall of Fame. The thing we're missing from the story is Robbie McCarthy was actually ranked 9th going into this Elite 8 event. Is that true?
Yes.
He was convinced that he sacrificed.
Let's watch this here. How does Luis win that rally?
That's unbelievable. Luis tracked down 4 balls that nobody in the world would get to but him, and then he ends up winning the rally.
Unbelievable. He should not have won that rally, but he does right
just
there.
Incredible. Robbie played so many good shots in that rally and didn't come away with a point.
Also, thanks to the referee for not calling any screens or blocking calls or anything like that.
Dave, you know Luis very well as anyone. This is the look of complete focus and determination on Luis's face right now.
Yeah, we're seeing something here that's it's rare enough that most people don't get to see it. You and I do sometimes. And back to what John said a little bit earlier, Robbie McCarthy coming in at the 9 seed. There's a huge story behind all of that too. Hopefully we'll get to it.
Oh, nice wrinkle there from Robbie McCarthy.
Side out.
Hopping the ball away from Luis.
I hope we did not screenshot that.
0.
Caption contest right about now.
I got one.
Yeah, he plays close. I'm watching it.
Really?
And Luis actually out of the court now talking to the referee. Very unusual.
0-1.
Luis does things his way, Dave.
Point.
I thought Luis was playing too close to Robbie during that opening rally. Luis is complaining about Robbie being close.
Hold it.
Once again, Luis in the way.
1-1.
Oh,
Point.
nice serve right there from McCarthy.
Luis
Now at
appeals.
2-1.
Both agree.
That was a great serve from Robbie.
2-1.
What a season for McCarthy. They're going after every single Irish singles title at the expense of this one. He thought he would not be invited here.
Yeah, I guess we will jump into that now really quickly. This tournament is only for the Elite 8. Robbie was not in the Elite 8.
Broken ball.
And we have a broken ball now, but because our 6th ranked player declined his invitation, couldn't make it, Robbie was then flown in from Ireland where he made up the last spot, and he's advanced all the way to the final, taking out the number 2 ranked pro, Emmett Peixote, and then the number 4 ranked pro, Armando Ortiz. Luis Moreno has been number 1 since the 2nd ever race event. And he's been #1 for the better part of the 3 race seasons. Last season he did not finish the year #1, but quickly assumed the #1 ranking after winning the first event this season, or excuse me, the second event of this season.
The prestigious trophy, his name is the first one to appear on the list, followed by Paul Brady, and he's hoping to make a Paul Brady sandwich with himself as the bread.
Sorry. Luis is served.
But the way things have been going, McCarthy could easily notch his name in there too, and then what a list that would be.
Amazing serve from Luis.
I said to McCarthy, hey, it'd be nice, to get that 20,000. He said, I'm not here for that. I wanted to play Paul Brady. Still talking about Paul Brady. Interesting.
You never know with Robbie if he's being serious or just kind of pulling your leg a little bit.
But if he wants Paul Brady that bad, shouldn't they be playing in Minneapolis next month? I mean, that's
possibly he is.
Paul's going to be there. That's a given. If he really wants Paul Brady, then maybe we see that at the USHA National. Be careful what you ask for.
Luis is there. Good shot though from Robbie. Really high quality stuff here early in game 1. Doesn't look like either guy has any sort of jitters.
2-2.
Now we have 3 different perspectives on this, but in the limited time we've all seen Robbie, David Vincent says he is Luis Moreno. You say not at all. I say sort of. So hopefully we'll come to some agreement in this match.
I don't think we
Similar
will.
Skills.
Dave Fink doesn't normally change any of his thoughts, and I don't with mine. But I was able to play Luis so much and just walk in there, and we played 3 or 4 games the other day, and I said, I'm getting punished with the same exact shots by the same person. It's unbelievable how their shot selections are so similar, and their hands are so similar.
But
see those soft little paddles?
David Fink's perspective is understandable because you flat out destroyed Robbie McCarthy in your one head-to-head meeting.
Oh, this isn't about me.
I'm making it about you.
Yeah, but you have
just
to understand.
For this one rally, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Watch this setup here from Luis. But Robbie, that was his 3rd handball game back from the 60 by 30 season. And though you and I don't play 60 by 30, we also don't know what it's like to go from that big long alley down to the short court. It has to feel different. And
maybe you don't play 60 by 30. I play 60 by 30.
That's an amazing serve from Luis. Look at how Robbie defends it.
It's a totally different ball, though, to seriously get with your point. Different court, different ball, so that's understandable.
Well, I played 3 tennis matches the week before that match, so
4-2.
that was also a different ball and a different court.
Did you see the T3000 in our garage?
It's actually the T2000.
No, it was a 3.
Oh, a 3. Okay.
It was Jimmy Connor's the next advanced model.
Okay.
It was sitting there in our garage. I do have a picture of it in case you're doubting me.
Never been invited to that garage.
5-2.
Moreno has 5, McCarthy 2 here.
I invited myself. I was looking for the hot tub.
Look at that hop right there
naked.
from Moreno, who just completely puts a wrinkle on that ball off the back wall.
Luis just all over the court. Robbie is having a hard time with Luis's hops right now and the power.
But he's getting them back. Most people don't. I mean, I'm surprised. Robbie hasn't played Luis enough to know all of this stuff.
They've only played 4 times. They're the same age, so going back to juniors.
That's
amazing
reverse
serve. It's just incredible. You know, Luis and I played 3 times in the last week leading up to this event, and each time we played, he was improving, and by the 3rd time, he was literally just unstoppable. I mean, there was just nothing anyone could have ever done.
There's an overhit from Luis off the back wall. He'll do that to you every now and then, Dave. In
but
those
I
practices.
think, you know, I think if he continues that level of play, I don't know that there's anything anyone can do. It's just so much power and spin on the ball and speed. But Robbie McCarthy does have the answers. He's got all the shots. Robbie McCarthy is also a winner like you said, John, he's won every big Irish title that you could possibly win. He's only 26, with probably one of the greatest resumes in Irish handball.
And he's doing it all in a calendar year.
And he, in his own mind, sacrificed this event. He said, I have to play the Irish, and I won't have enough U.S. points to qualify for this, so this is just like gravy to him. He's like, oh, well, thanks, I'm glad I'm in. $11,000 worth of gravy, though. It's $20,000 or not for the winner. I mean, 9 for the loser. It's nothing to sneeze at, but 20's better than 9.
A nice run from Luis, but now it's Robbie staying within striking distance.
4-7.
Wow, that's a laser, and Robbie claimed that as one bounce. Luis questions it.
7-4.
Luis looks really fresh.
Well, you know, he's only been on the court for 73 minutes through 2 matches in this event.
Look how he goes over the top of that ball, John.
He did kind of get his ideal draw as far as being fresh. 2 players that he's very confident against.
I'd love to have our sideline reporter Molly Trotter get a word with Robbie's coach and father, Mr. Rob.
8-4.
That would be great to get his perspective. I know that he'll be talking to Robbie during the timeouts, and I know that the wheels are churning for him right now as he's thinking about what to tell Robbie during the first break in the action.
Well, the comment he had in the earlier matches is that Robbie's really self-directed and he's just here for support. And maybe he might see something once in a while, but mainly Robbie's a grown-ass man now, and he's there for him.
Well, that may sound good in theory, but I think there's more going on than just that.
I really do believe he is more of a life coach, spiritual coach to Robbie McCarthy, and it's been said from not just us but many people before that he gets a lot of that mojo from his dad.
Let's see if we can follow Robbie on the camera and see if he does talk to Mr. Rob here in the gallery. It looks like he is going off on his own, but maybe.
No, his dad's over there.
Okay.
That's his father at the end, and I'm sure his father went there on purpose.
Right. And now they'll be speaking in code, knowing that the cameras are on them. Now, is this life coaching going on here, Dave, or are they talking X's and O's? I believe it's
I love his downplaying of his role.
Well, that's what I mentioned. Yeah.
30 seconds.
See, this is some real advice here.
That's right.
Might not be strategy, but it's something about,
I believe it is.
you know, keeping your head up, keep strong, keep doing what you're doing, you know, push. Those sort of things can actually help you out when you don't have what you feel are fans sitting in the stands that are on your side.
I saw Robbie McCarthy being coached by Mr. Rob on Wednesday afternoon.
Resuming play.
He was actually in the server's box with him, coaching him on his serve down the right, pointing, imploring him to use his right leg. So if that's not as technical as you can be, I don't know what is. It definitely wasn't life coaching.
Well, I just thought that maybe you would see him. John might disagree with this, but if you're going to be coaching someone like that and give him real advice, you'd be using your hands more when you talk. He was using his head.
Well, I think it's Italians that use their hands more when they talk. And timeout serves him well. I think Mr. Rob told him maybe slow the game down a little bit, and he did with a lob serve.
Short.
Well, I think slowing the game down on the serve against Luis is smart. I think you'll get more points doing that. You're not going to trick him. He's got one of the best return of serves, especially on a power serve in the game. And he's so creative with all the ways that he can get that ball back. Oh, that should be an avoidable.
It's interesting talking to Robbie. He's very cerebral about his game. He said, you know, when I was playing Emmett,
5-8.
I said, you know, you must have been tired. That first game was over an hour. And he said, well, no, Emmett was doing all the running and he was swinging hard. I was just in there just, you know, paddling the ball back. He was wasting all his energy. So to be that cognizant of what's happening in there, I thought was really interesting.
Dangerous.
Cat Casey would have won this rally like 5 shots ago.
And Luis crosses him there. No call. Great play.
Robbie just picks those balls up with so much ease. Soft hands.
Hold it, hold it.
We talked about Robbie receiving that coaching. When Luis's coach, Fred Lewis, comes to tournaments, he doesn't go anywhere near him, seemingly for the entire weekend. Not only not during the match, but all weekend.
5-8.
Luis says that his coach is himself and his intuition.
Now we're at 6-8. Somebody's going to have to eventually get tired here. I mean,
6,
those
8.
long rallies like the last one that we saw, and this elevation and this many rounds of ball and the importance of all of this has to kind of weigh on you eventually.
7-8.
7 serves 8.
I know Robbie's incredibly fit. He prefers the long matches. He told me, I like the big court where the matches are 3 games to 21, and it's not a good shot from Luis.
Oh, and backed up by Robbie, who
But
hits it right in the floor.
But, you know, he said, I like these 4-hour marathons.
8,
That's what I want.
7.
And that would not be Luis's first choice.
That was a terrible serve from Luis.
Wow. Great shot. I've only seen Luis noticeably tired twice, both times against Paul Brady, the 2012 World Championship Final and the Denver semifinal from a month ago.
That's a tweener, but look what Robbie does there. Just a little paddle into the corner.
Great shot.
That was really a good shot.
Now Luis hasn't worked as hard coming into the final, but these first 15 to 20 minutes.
Luis is going to try to ask for maybe a glove change here.
Okay. 2 minutes.
What's that?
He's got to
Like,
switch his gloves.
I agree with Robbie.
I know they weren't wet.
well, if you know they weren't wet, then you don't give a glove change.
Well, I believe what Luis
It's an
is saying is
equipment
they're not
change.
fitting properly. And in
I
that
don't think he
case, John,
gets-
would that be
No, that's his own fault. He has to call a timeout and fix his own.
but
clean up
wouldn't
his
that
own
be the
mess.
same as
No.
my shoelace broke? I mean,
No,
no? Okay.
my gloves
Just
aren't
asking.
fitting right.
So what would an
That's
equipment
serious.
timeout be
It would-
considered
I
then?
know. I think he should call his own timeout if he made a mistake and put the wrong gloves on.
Okay, well, we didn't hear whether or not it was the wrong glove.
He
It
was
could be a
given a-
strap that's broken. It could be something like that. Emmett did not give us an explanation, so we don't really know, and we're all speculating here.
No,
But
it's 2 minutes. It's
he-
equipment.
see, he's calling an equipment timeout,
Calling
but
equipment.
what is the actual fault or
Is it
reason for
Luis
the
doesn't
equipment?
like his gloves, or there's a malfunction?
This is what happens when you try out brand new handball
Yeah.
gloves, when your sponsor is here giving you
You're
pressure to put them on, and
playing the biggest money
Yeah.
match you've
1
ever
minute.
played in your life.
you want to go back to something that you've had on, your gear that you've worn for 15 years of your life playing the sport,
Imagine-
however long it's been for Luis.
Imagine Tiger going into the pro shop and buying a new driver before the final round of the Masters.
Perfect. And that's
Thank you.
exactly. You just nailed that. Or Jimmy Connors, you're not playing a T2000.
30
You're playing
seconds.
the brand new,
Yeah.
whatever strings they have now in Big Racket.
RPM Luxilon
time.
Big Bangers. 17 gauge.
And just breaking it out for the final.
I knew that was so overwhelming for Dave that I had to say it.
As soon as you said Tiger Woods, I tuned everything else after that out.
So racist.
Robbie serving.
And you see Luis has switched glove brands now.
8-8.
Well,
Robbie looks like the much sharper player right now.
I think they're both wonderful.
Wow. Incredible shot making.
Well, if I played handball anymore, I would be very curious about the Edel glove. It looks like an advance in technology, but it would take some getting used to.
Side out.
Great rally. And Luis needed that side out as Robbie had scored 4 consecutive points.
8-8.
Broken ball. Nope.
Maybe.
Point.
Robbie's questioning it himself, trying to bounce it to the floor to see if it's broken.
Neither guy is winning a lot of 1, 2, or 3 shot rallies here. Both guys are so quick that if you don't put that first strike down, the rallies are extended into 10 plus.
And also, both guys not quite hitting their very best first serves.
Second serve.
How Luis is dangerous from there. Sometimes he'll go down bottom board.
I agree with you.
I thought he was going to do it there. He might be a little tentative, Dave, because he never lets up on that fadeaway shot.
No, that's when you hit the right side wall against Luis, the point is usually over.
He goes, John,
but
straight down.
You guys aren't Robbie McCarthy fast.
8, 9.
I mean, well,
you have to see this.
Star, but so Robbie's been establishing himself as a get artist.
Yeah, I agree. He actually outgot, if you want to say it that way, Emmett Peixote yesterday, and I didn't think anybody can do that.
Ben got him, yeah, absolutely.
He's done got him.
9.
He done got him. Only thing missing there was a hashtag.
Point.
And now it's
Robbie
10.
has his first lead. And this is the way Robbie seems to like to play, where he kind of gradually works his way into matches. Did this against Emmett Peixote.
9.
In winning one of his biggest ever titles 2 weeks ago, Robbie McCarthy winning the All-Ireland Senior Singles title over good friend Dermot Nash.
10.
He trailed throughout that first game before finally closing it out late and then completely dominated the second. Amazing shot.
Ten. Short. Second serve. 2 shorts.
That wasn't even close.
And that's for Luis Moreno. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be an all-time great in the game. But his second serve is like B player level. He just overhits it off the back wall
10,
or
10.
double faults. He's got to rethink his second serve.
I heard you yesterday, John, saying a huge hop from Luis. If you're going to hit a power second serve, you'd better just bust it into the side wall.
That's the safest option, yeah.
10.
And he's got so much mojo on his ball that it'd be a brilliant choice for him.
Since the ball broke, this ball looks quite a bit slower. Amazing flat roll. Very similar to the first game that these two played at the World Championships in 2012. That game was 70 minutes, won by Luis Moreno 21-19.
What a remarkable run Luis had there. He just beat all the very best Irish players.
I agree with Robbie here.
It crossed your path.
It totally did. John, you were talking. I didn't mean to interrupt, but
I just called it a little late.
He didn't call it at all, actually. It was so late, it was after the play was over. And here's the replay. You guys will see yourself. That was when Luis came right in front of him at the moment, right before he hit it.
Wasn't the worst cross I've seen this weekend.
Well, Luis had to get out of the way, so I don't know what else he could have done.
Right.
We'll do that again, too.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, Robbie agreed.
It's almost like one of those makeup calls, and I hear the referee even kind of...
10.
Just don't know about this call.
Well, Robbie agreed. Robbie agreed. It was the ender.
Yeah, Luis got his hand on that ball, too. I don't think it matters whether Robbie agrees, John.
Well, it doesn't for the
ref's back
perspective, but for us analyzing after the fact, if the player who got victimized by the call doesn't mind the call, it might be a good call.
Short. Second serve.
Now here, let's see this B second serve. I like that.
They're busting it hard into the wall. There you go.
I like that.
That's a pro level serve there. Yeah, if I had Luis Moreno's arms at
11-10
on hooks, my second serve would be that. Just crush it into the side wall.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go anywhere near the short line.
Yeah, this is when Luis is really dangerous, when he's looking to take the first strike out of the air. He's got those amazing paddle kills in the front court.
I play
12-10.
Luis down at the club, John. I'm telling you, I hate when it goes second serve. I hate it. Because I think it's more...
Well, he should
that
never
ball's
double
finally
fault.
broken.
Great.
Against you, I'm sure is your life to just
He does
busting
so many creative
massive
things.
hops.
He does so many creative things on that second serve, and I guess
I don't see why he'd ever hit one short.
More than just the ball broke on that last rally. Luis.
Is this something to worry about for Moreno fans? Luis stretching out here. He had that cramp issue in Denver against Paul Brady where his, I believe it was his right leg locked up on him.
That was just a remarkably grueling match. I hope we're not at that stage
It's not
yet.
a timeout. Get back in there, Luis.
I like referee Emmett Pachot knows all the rules, taking charge.
What's that?
2
minutes.
Oh, this is weird how Luis just said, I'm too sweaty, it's an equipment change, and the referee just gave it to him like that. No inspection, just gave it to him.
Change his armband.
He does look sweaty.
But it's not a mandatory 2 minutes, right, John? I mean, you don't have to.
That's up to the committee. In the USHA rule book, it is actually 2 minutes.
To
but
take
it's
an
up to
armband off, it takes 2 minutes?
in the rule book.
These things have to be
Equipments are
written down.
Now look at this. Robbie McCarthy
Again
sits
with the
down
bat.
and love to
All
get a
right, so
hidden.
I'll tell you about this girl I was with in '73. I'll tell you all about her.
I'd love to have a microphone over there and actually catch the real story as opposed to the one that you just ventriloquized. Just made that.
In my best Irish accent.
Just made that up. It's game number 1. Best 2 out of 3 to 21. Breaker to 11. As Robbie McCarthy and Luis Moreno are battling it out. Moreno's up by 2, but they were tied at 10 just recently, tied at 8.
Dave, is this another
1
pair of
minute.
gloves? Because I've seen Luis Moreno play an entire tournament with just 1 pair of
Yeah.
gloves. This might be his 3rd pair in this first game.
Well, he's wearing 2 shirts. It is
So-
a different pair of gloves. He took off that band and he could have gotten his glove wet. That's the only thing I can think of here.
But he does take off his gloves between games and puts the same pair back on. So they could be the same pair.
I thought they had a different color than this one, but not paying that close of attention. These don't look wet at all. I think that
30 seconds.
these are different, and I think taking that armband off probably got him wet.
So I'm with you on Mr. Robert McCarthy Sr. clearly undersold his own role
Yes.
in Robbie's success. He's the puppet master. He's pulling
And
the
if you-
strings.
If you talk to Robbie's sister, Aoife, you'll know just how prominent that role is for Mr. Rob.
Luis serves. Resuming play. Luis serves. 12-10.
Crowd's fairly noisy here as they usher into the show court. And
Short.
luckily for the players, they just can't hear anything. They can't even hear the ref, and he's on a microphone.
You gotta like a 20-foot high glass wall.
Second
you don't
serve.
get much of that.
No. And a real steep back viewing area so people can see down into the court, like this angle that we're looking at now. How does Luis get that? Look at this. Overhand to the back wall.
Luis says he knows how to control the ball hitting into the back wall.
I believe him.
I've seen it.
Wow. And he hits that flush.
Okay, watch what Luis does when he fades here. Inside out down the right wall. Then he overhits the next one.
Big.
Wow, that
He's
was
dying
the
re-kill.
shot of
Gotta be kidding me.
the shot of this final match right here from Luis Moreno. Watch this. All the way off the ground, then moves his knees to get out of the way.
Winning pass shot from 2 inches off the floor.
Acrobatic and
the shot
athletic.
before was so much easier, and he totally flubbed it.
That-
He knew what he was doing.
He did a pre-dive so he can stabilize his body just a little bit.
So he's got the setup and the shot before, and then
Robbie-
this. How do you win a rally from that position?
Robbie thought the rally was over there when he hit that shot. That's why he wasn't in position. I think had he gotten back to the middle of the court and been prepared, he probably would have tracked that ball down.
That was an amazing shot. I think he left his feet
13-10.
early just so he can control that back down the right wall. 13-10. Oh. I
So the
just
next
missed.
time out break, Robert Sr. needs to say something about playing every rally to the end, because that's exactly what happened there.
10-13.
Another one between the legs. This is going to be a big setup off the back wall.
Good shot.
Point.
Through 2 rounds of handball, Robbie's played 2 really close games, winning both of them. Emmett Pachot
11-13.
21-20 and Armando Ortiz 21-19. He came back from big deficits in both of those games to win them.
Look at that. Look at that. That's the Luis Moreno.
He does tend to win the close ones.
Both disagree. Short ball.
Wow, that's tough.
That's a
Good
momentum
serve.
crusher.
One of those line judges is Aisling Riley from
serve.
Ireland. It's
Do we have the GoPro on that? It's probably the right call. Probably a correct overrule.
We do have it. But you see no arguing from Robbie either way, and there's another point. Maybe
Well,
ball
that's
do lie.
Robbie's increased focus there.
Does ball do lie, John?
That's painful.
12-13.
Well, he was the one punished by that one, by the short call.
Robbie tries to leave his feet. Luis Moreno back into the box. It's a best 2 out of 3 to 21, breaker to 11. Moreno
Well,
13 to
David
12.
Fink believes that ball do
13,
lie
12.
exactly 50% of the
I
time.
believe that's one of those things
50%
that
of
should
the
never
time.
be said. One of those things that
We're going to
came
keep
from,
saying it. We're going to
came
keep
from
saying
big
it, though.
ball that I wish
It
would
came
have never
from
migrated.
basketball. It came from a very big ball, like a big leather brown
13,
basketball.
I think it was Rasheed Wallace that said that.
So it's a basketball thing.
I think it was the white thing on top of Rasheed Wallace's head.
So you're going to make fun of childhood
Why would you go
injuries?
there? That's horrible.
Yeah, I know that was mean. He was such a nice player, too. Such a wonderful
Such a great-
gentleman on the court.
Great man.
His teammates all loved him. Same thing with Rodman.
New ball.
I'm not so sure Rodman's teammates did love him.
Now, here's an
Whether
interesting
you're
thing.
sure of it or not.
Can we get back on track here?
No. Okay, get on track, yeah.
Well, let's get back to Robbie winning close games. In his last event 2 weeks ago, he defeated Dermot Nash
Very close
21-19.
first, yeah.
So then he defeats Emmett Pichot 21-20, Armando Ortiz 21-19. You think those have to go both ways when you're that close, but he seems to be winning
He's
them.
been winning, yeah. And he did the same thing even in his worst event of the year in Houston, where you just blew him out after halftime. The round before, he was
Second serve.
struggling the whole time. Then he hits 2 crack serve, then he wins by 2 points.
Right.
Side out.
In overtime.
So he's
Another double fault.
that's what I'm saying. Should never ever happen. Just bust it hard into the sidewall. Don't even worry about. Don't even think about the short line.
13. Long.
You don't see a long serve very often, John.
Second serve.
Yeah, to me, long should be a side out. It's just so horrible.
Yeah.
It's just way off your target,
I agree.
like it is in all outdoor versions, or some of them.
Right.
13-13.
Great shot from Robbie.
Hold it.
Was that ball past Luis?
No, he had it. He's fast enough.
Okay.
But
13-13.
he did play the player instead of. But I still think he would have had it.
We're all together at 13 here. That was party ball. That ball skipped?
Very, very rare.
Wow.
Unforced error
Yeah,
from
Robbie
Robbie in the
doesn't-
front court.
Robbie doesn't just give many points away. It's funny to talk to him. You wouldn't think he's the smartest guy in the room, but
13-13.
he's got a very, like you said, a very good grasp on his own
Short.
game and what it's going to take to win every title he gets.
Second serve.
He's certainly one of the nicest in the room.
I just can't think of a worse second serve than that. Puts the ball on the tee for Robbie's right
Well,
hand.
the double fault would be worse.
Yeah.
The 2 he's already done.
Robbie just somehow gets that ball back. Both of these guys can take the ball off the ground as much as anybody I've ever seen, especially Robbie. Scraping their hand. Look how low Luis gets to that ball, and that almost hits Luis on the right wall after Robbie misses it.
What
And
an
it's a point
extreme
for
angle
Moreno.
That was really
Crazy.
Luis is not sharp right now. That was a complete miss hit.
14.
Think so? I
13.
thought it was just genius.
No, he was going down the middle there. Missed that by 10 feet.
You didn't miss that serve. It's going to be a setup down the right. And that ball hops so much away from Robbie McCarthy that he can't even get his hand
You
on
could
it.
argue that Luis should just always hit the ball 2
15,
feet high
13.
with as much hop as he could. I mean, what are you going to do? You're not going to kill it.
Right.
You're either going to
Short.
barely get it back or you're going to miss it.
Luis, yeah, he hasn't located
Second
that hop serve yet, and so
I'm saying the shot he just hit to end that last rally, arguably he could do that every time. And it's never going to be a setup for the other guy.
Right.
Just breaks 2 feet one way or the other.
McCarthy 13,
13,
Moreno
15.
15 here in game number 1. McCarthy's and Moreno been trading
Down ball.
points when they get into the
Robbie makes no mistake there. Remember, at 13-all, Robbie had a very easy shot to make it 14-13 and missed it. Luis comes in the box and scores 2 straight points.
Wow. Right in front of Robbie's face.
So that was rare. In the last 2 rallies, you've seen a 3-shot rally and a 2-shot rally.
But don't you see that these guys look a lot alike in there? They're killing the
I'm
ball the
coming.
same place.
I was the flex point.
I mean, let's forget about
I'm seeing it.
Luis's gigantic wrinkles. They're ending every rally almost the same exact way.
It's easy for Dave Vincent to call 2-foot hooks a wrinkle because you hit 4-foot hooks, but. Yeah, these are. I'm seeing some mirror images. The same age. Amazingly enough, they only played 4 times. Juniors, twice. One world round that Luis won, and one race-off that Robbie won.
That was an overhit. You're not going to get that one, Robbie. Luis punches out with a fist down the left wall and gets that side out.
15-14. Short.
He just has not located that serve.
That'll be the difference maker in my mind. Which guy just locks in on that unreturnable serve?
We haven't seen anybody go on a stretch of getting great serves.
Hasn't happened, yeah.
Great shot from Luis, and that's the play we talked about earlier today in another match where you have your opponent pinned on the wall and you hit it cross court, but you have to hit it with the reverse, meaning coming over top of the ball to straighten it out, and Luis did that perfectly there.
16-14.
To not catch the side wall or the back wall.
Well, you had to thread the needle.
Short ball.
Look at Luis. Look at this reaction here.
One agrees. One didn't see it.
I thought it was really close.
It was short by 2 inches, and
I thought it touched the front part of the line,
yeah.
so 1 inch.
2 inches.
I thought it touched line.
I like what the ref said. He said he saw it 2 inches short, and that replay shows that it definitely was short, whether it was 1 or 2 inches or on the line.
But I like Luis's emotion there, getting after it, trying to sell it.
Terrible serve right there.
He has no second serve. Come on. With the juice he puts in the ball, can he just bust a super hard serve into the left side wall and be totally safe?
Yep.
Point.
Great closing speed. It looked like that ball might dip and even bounce twice, but Luis gets under it.
17-14.
Robbie probably needs to think about a timeout here, especially if Luis wins this rally.
Wow, that ball just went so fast after it hit the ground.
Luis mojo right there, and you're right, Robbie.
This is the time
this
for
is
it.
Obvious the way Luis hit that last ball.
18-14.
But like we were saying in previous matches, most of the
top. God, that's an amazing
Robbie
serve.
should have already. That's Robbie's fault for not slowing this.
It's his dad's fault for not telling him to call a timeout.
Well, you have to like get up on the glass and like start screaming at him right now.
Another amazing serve.
That was a good serve. Luis breaks over the top of that one. I don't know if Robbie can, but he does. Get it back.
Great shot from Robbie.
Right out.
You know,
I think it cost him 2 points, but he did turn it around a little bit there.
14-19.
Looks like a good serve there, called short. There's some players out there that
I called it short. Both agree.
that have those underhand scoop shots, and then there's the players like Robbie who kind of does the same thing, but it's for a purpose. He has like a different version of that underhand.
Point.
That ball was lasered up there for a point, 15-19, and he's not going away.
Luis now looks like he's taking
Luis
a timeout.
the one. Yeah, how about that?
Timeout.
Boy, you know, Robbie has to
Every time we question Robbie's judgment, it turns out that we're wrong.
Well,
that he was doing the right thing.
I'm picking up something here that I'm not really liking. And that's Luis constantly coming out of the court without telling the referee what is going on in the court. And you see Robbie every single time standing in the service box looking back going, what's going on?
Well, the ref can't hear you from inside that glass.
You can't put your hand up and make the T signal that you're making a timeout while you're in the court. You have to walk out, go get your water, and call a timeout. That's disrespectful.
He did make the T signal.
30 seconds.
Robbie would be shielded.
No, but the referee could call it. Robbie has to turn around and pick up his hands and look at the referee and say, what's going on? A player shouldn't have to worry about that.
Mountains out of molehills.
Well said.
Ten seconds.
Luis upset with himself here.
That was fast. Was
go.
that really 50 seconds already? Is Emmett on some amped up speed time?
get in the
That
court.
was already a minute?
Maybe he deducted that walk out of the court and take 5 seconds before asking for a timeout.
Robbie serving.
Luis isn't breathing hard. Robbie isn't either.
No, these guys equally well conditioned for sure. And I love the Tucson insider
15,
information
19.
about how Luis just got better and better,
Short ball.
closer and closer to this event. We'll see if it's good enough.
Second serve.
Great shots from Robbie, but Luis is still alive. And now Luis is in control.
Got it.
Two bounces.
What a
Great
great
rally.
angle to see that rally. High quality,
Towel.
pure class. It's like you're watching, like they have 128 men at the tennis majors, and you already know it's going to be Joker, Nadal, and they're going. This is what we're seeing right now.
This was the best round of the event.
Starting with that shot.
Well, how does Robbie make this get right here? We talk about the diving gets, but that get was equally impressive, if not more.
Huh, look at the wrinkle right there that Robbie gave Luis.
16-19.
Luis is taking his time here. You don't see that very often. Usually Luis is the guy that wants to get things going. He's taking timeouts, equipment
Robbie's serve.
changes, towel timeouts.
What you don't see is these two ever in the history of their lives playing for
16-19.
$20,000. That's got to factor in there somewhere.
Oh, and how did Luis get that ball back?
That's a break. Big break for Luis.
Huge. And that's a full circle on my scorecard because Robbie would be serving and should be at 17-19. Instead, he's out of the box just 2 points from going down 1 game. And he should be back in that box. It was just a lucky break for Luis
Amazing.
there.
Well,
19-16.
part skill, part luck, but yeah, more part luck.
I was wondering how Luis was able to get that, but then also how Robbie missed that other one. It seemed like it was
He
right through his hand.
assuming- That's excellent advice I heard in a clinic once when you hit the great serve and you're sitting there. I think the term I heard was stroking yourself. You shouldn't do that. So Robbie was like giving himself the point.
What's Luis doing in there? He sent Robbie's way 2 times in a row?
Well, Robbie had good chances to end this rally also. Wow.
Oh, he just nailed that one though. It's his first chance.
How frustrated is Robbie right here after that? Look at this laser.
20-16.
And here is game point, 20-16. Let's see if Luis goes with that reverse. He can do a 2 bouncer. Strange, he did do it, but it was in the wrong spot.
First game,
And there
Luis.
you got it. 2 bounces
that?
picked up by Robbie McCarthy, and
5 minutes.
Luis Moreno takes game number 1, 21-16, here at the Players Championship in Salt Lake City. Robbie just unable to get that ball back to the front wall. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back in just a bit. For Dave Fink and John Bike, Dave Vincent will have more continuous coverage from the World Players of Handball at ESPN3.com with Game 2 coming up.
places you'd never consider texting. So why would you do it while driving? Leave risky driving to the professionals. Stop the texts, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Rethink what you know about this Vegas icon. Elevate your expectations at the Stratosphere Hotel, Casino, and Tower. See what's new, up, down, and all around.
In 1905, Thomas Beverly Pennock settled out west to start a family construction business. Over 100 years and 5 generations later, T.B. Pennock & Sons continues on today. From our world-class concrete at the San Diego airport to our recovery efforts in New York after Hurricane Sandy. We take pride in what we build, and we will never forget who we build for. We are T.B. Pennock & Sons.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
WPH Race for 8 Players Championship brought to you by Edel Handball. Dave Vincent alongside David Fink here for game number 2. Luis Moreno and Robbie McCarthy. What did Luis do there late that just seemed to get those points? Because he doesn't look as sharp as I've seen him.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with Robbie McCarthy putting a lot of pressure on Luis, making a lot of great gets. But that game was anybody's game right up until the end. In fact, Robbie McCarthy serving at 16-19 looked like he had an ace that would have given him 17. Luis hits that fluky shot from the back right corner that Robbie didn't think was going to make it. Turns out to be a side out. Luis scores 2 quick points to close out that game. And that's the difference right now between these two guys. They're playing at a pretty similar level. And Luis was just able to get that lead late and hold on to it.
Earlier, we sat down with Luis Moreno, and we asked him about that crazy style of play, and this is what Luis had to say.
Style, I like to play the fast pace. I really enjoy just like getting the workout that way, and you can feel the resistance a lot more than when you're just like hitting a lob serve or just, you know, when you play the ceiling a lot. So I get a better workout that way, so I like that, the fast pace and, you know, just like hitting the ball hard every single shot.
Well, I'm the guy that plays him 90% of the time, and there's no fast pace going on there. So he probably wished that he had the fast pace. He probably is really deep down saying that he loves playing against you, Dave, in practice.
Score is 0-0.
I mean, he likes to work out. He likes the feeling that he gets from playing handball. Of course he loves that fast pace. And I think Robbie's been giving him a pace. Is it
Short
fast? Are these long rallies fast?
Second serve.
I would say this is at a fast pace.
Yeah,
sure.
it kind of seems like it because it's more ground and pound than anything else, right? Watching continued coverage at ESPN3.com.
We did see Robbie at the Worlds after losing a very close and long first game kind of go away in the second game at the Worlds. We'll have to follow this carefully. And that's Luis's bread and butter, that shot right there. And he doesn't make it.
More
Sorry.
0-0.
I was going to say more so even with his left hand, the exact same thing. But go ahead, John.
You speak about following this carefully. David Fink went public last night with a 21-15.
I did not go public.
I went public with David Fink's prediction.
Yeah.
Okay. 21-15, 21-9 Moreno. And he was only 1 point off in the first game.
But I did not go
Second
public.
serve.
No.
I went public with David Fink's prediction.
I would not count Robbie McCarthy out.
I definitely don't.
You can't count any of these guys out. They're all so awesome.
Point.
But Luis can beat anyone 21-8 right now, can he?
Yeah.
2-0.
But so can Robbie.
Just over the line.
I think Luis will appeal this if he loses this rally. Wow.
Now let's see if
Wow.
Robbie appeals it. Appeal it, Robbie. Somebody back in the stands has to be telling you.
0-2.
And to Dave Vincent's point, wearing the same
ball.
gear, I have no idea which one's which right now. Which one's Moreno?
Yeah.
Second serve.
I guess it's the one with the headband.
Thank you. I'll use that for the rest of the match. They're like twins.
I just don't see, if these guys are similar, then why isn't
Side
Paul
out.
Brady the same as these guys and Mondo Ortiz the same? I mean,
No,
both guys are hitting the ball hard.
They're not.
Well, just
2-0.
watch them. It's not about hitting it hard. Look at their hands. Look at
If
their
you
style.
don't know, you better ask someone.
Their
I'm
styles are so
Oh,
similar.
Robbie. That's Robbie's second unforced error from the middle of the court on the first strike. The first one proved to be costly as it would have given him the lead at
0-2.
14-13.
Went big hands on the, yeah, that was huge.
John, do you see how low Robbie gets to the ground when he
Out.
serves that ball? I mean, really,
We
it's
saw
about
that yesterday, yes.
It's
Yeah.
unreal.
2-0.
Watch how low his hand gets.
That's Toddy
Short
Silvera
ball.
low. That's how low that is.
I called it short.
It
One
was
didn't
short.
see it and one agrees. Second serve.
And you gotta love the anonymous ref. He's doing a perfect job if you don't even know who it is, but it actually happens to be an Elite 8 player, Emmett Bichotte.
Now
Doing
Robbie's
a
running
wonderful
Luis
job.
around here, and he is doing a good job.
3-0. Short ball. Second serve.
But yeah, thank God for Luis's headband because they look the same to me.
I think this is the kind of game Robbie wants to play right now. He's got Luis in the backcourt. And now
Point.
Robbie's showing he's got some wrinkle, even with the left hand.
4-0.
We were discussing this on the long drive home last night when you just said McCarthy's horrible and I said he was great.
Side out.
Don't remember saying that.
That's how I remember it.
That was on Twitter as well, right?
0-4.
But he does have, actually I was joking there, but he does have every aspect of the game. He'll play high, he'll play low.
And there's that first point from Moreno.
1-4.
Well, we know Robbie can blitz even the best players. He beat Armando Ortiz 21-6 yesterday in the first game. And Luis has to put that away, but didn't.
Which one's Luis?
Headband.
Headband. A big mistake there. That's not a pro level shot.
No contact call. That's that elite shot I was telling you about from Luis with his left hand. Crosses in front of Robbie, no call. Now it's starting to get.
It's developed into an exciting rally, but probably should have been ended a while ago.
Luis looks tired, Dave. Mouth open. And look at that flat rollout right there from Robbie McCarthy and a big breath from Moreno.
It's very rare to see a 29-shot rally end with a flat rollout. Usually by that time, both guys are so tired that you'll see some sort of air, but not that time.
First time out.
And Luis taking a timeout early in this second game, but Dave, Robbie McCarthy, like I was alluding to,
1 minute.
can also blow guys out. 21-6, he beats Armando Ortiz yesterday. He beats Emmett Bichotte 21-10 after taking a 10-1 lead. So there's no reason he can't do the same here to Luis Moreno.
I mean, going up to the ceiling and do those wraparounds and keeping Luis into the game where he has less offense and tracking those shots that Luis is hitting down, this is all wearing on him. You see, Luis called a timeout because of his error, not because
30 seconds.
Robbie was on a run, because Luis was just serving.
I believe Mr. Rob is telling Robbie, don't worry about that first game. Luis is prone to getting tired. He watched Luis in New York, or excuse me, in Denver. He's seen him get tired against Paul Brady. He says, you know, we've got to win 2 games anyway, and now we'll just have to win 2 in a row.
10 seconds.
I do hope that we can get Mr. McCarthy on with our sideline reporter, Molly Trotter, but then again, a lot of coaches won't like to talk during a match.
Well, Molly Trotter is splitting duties. She's on our left camera. She's our operator
Robbie
down here,
serving.
Dave. For her to do that, she's going to have to let go of that camera. She's splitting duties here.
Okay. Well, I think it could be the latter, though, that Mr. McCarthy just is too focused. And it probably will serve as a distraction to Robbie if he looks back and sees his dad talking to Molly.
There he is.
Here, I'll just yell from
4-1.
here. I can see him. 4-1,
Short ball.
short ball.
So if I just clandestinely bring my headphone to him
Second
and just start
serve.
talking like friends, I get some inside intel. He's not sharing. He's not revealing.
I would love to see Molly, though, get out on the street and maybe talk to one of the pro players watching this match.
Point.
I know there's a bunch of them watching.
And that was a terrible miss hit right there from Moreno, and a point now for McCarthy at 5-1.
Yeah, that was a bad error.
5-1. Short ball.
I want to say hello to the Newfoundland
Second
Handball
serve.
Association
pretty
for
sure it's
watching
not
the
found.
Canadian. Thanks for interrupting again. For the Canadian Nationals next month in Montreal. They're watching this live broadcast.
I will be at that event. What say you?
1-5.
Living legend Danny Bell to be inducted in the Hall of Fame at that Canadian National event.
Well, that's a real one when that happens. Let's see what happens here. Oh, what a smart shot. Inside out.
Strangely enough, he hasn't asked me to speak.
Would you compare Robbie McCarthy to Danny Bell?
5-1.
Well, Danny Bell was just the most insane get
Short ball.
master ever.
Ball was called short.
Robbie appeals. Both agree.
You're talking 6'1", like a $130, like just all arms and legs.
Do you guys see similarities between Robbie and Owen Kennedy? With Robbie having a little bit more offense than Owen,
Second serve.
more power, but similar games. Tracking balls down, hitting a lot of wraparounds.
You want me to interrupt here or interject?
Great shot from Luis. What a get. Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Point.
Absolutely incredible shot.
6-1.
That ball skipped in.
Point.
And it looks like we're heading to a tiebreaker right now. What more could you want?
7-1.
One game to 11 for $20,000.
What's fascinating insight, I can't fathom an athlete like Luis Moreno being tired, but it looks like he is.
It could be a combination of nerves and the altitude and this exhausting style of play.
Set out.
But he had the dream draw to get here. He just had 2 easy matches.
Maybe that hurts him. Maybe he's not adjusted to the altitude because of that.
He hasn't pushed yet, yeah. He hasn't gone deep into
1-7.
his lungs yet.
Short ball. Second serve.
Wow.
Point.
It wasn't the biggest reverse we've ever seen, but it was certainly big enough to fool Robbie. Watch this ball.
2-7.
In slow motion, it still looked
Short ball.
fast.
Well, Luis is having a hard time
Second
finding the
serve.
bottom board as Robbie's picking up all of his kills, so he decided to go with a really hard hop, and it worked.
Point.
This is what Robbie cannot afford here. He's established control of this second game. Now all of a sudden, Luis
3-7.
right back in it.
Luis missed his target on that second serve. He's trying to hit wall first, but he got away with it.
I agree with you. I think
Hold
Luis
it,
got
hold it.
lucky.
That's an avoidable. That was definitely an avoidable.
That's a point. That should be a point.
Yeah. A clear
We're just gonna
avoidable
do it
there.
over.
No.
Just do that over?
He stepped on him during his swing in a position where Robbie was out of position.
Yeah, I agree with Luis here.
He didn't move into you.
Let's take a look at the replay. You will see there is some movement
He
from
didn't
Robbie
move.
here.
Robbie has to get out of the way here.
No, that's Robbie had plenty of time to move.
He had to move out of the way.
Plenty
He
of time
couldn't
to
just
move.
stand
Appreciate
there.
it.
on that
Back
ball.
in the court.
I mean, I like the ref's attitude, but his call is wrong. The no longer anonymous
3-7.
referee.
And that was
Let's see
unfortunate.
if that fires up Luis.
Oh, it will. It will. Look at that.
Oh my gosh! Boy,
You
that
hear
ball
that?
just had a totally different sound.
But if Robbie can win this rally, he takes away all that extra mojo from Luis.
Absolutely.
I believe even by hanging in this rally, he does the same.
No, I think
No?
I think
Okay.
Luis is gonna. You're right. Luis could have scored like 4 points with that much adrenaline. He only
Yeah.
got 1.
4-7.
He's going to still hit this one hard again.
He's going to eventually shorten this rally he's going to make right now.
How does Robbie do
Side
that?
out.
And there it is.
Yeah.
There's a turnaround.
Real soft hands.
7-4.
Ooh, Luis could have got.
Luis saying, okay, you owe me one. I'm going to make unavoidable until you call it on me.
I thought Robbie was going to change his shot for a second and just drill him, but he didn't. Went for that corner.
8-4. Point. Nine, 4. Side out. Four, 9.
So Luis back in the box.
That's nice ceiling there.
Great
Oh,
shot.
I love that shot.
Well constructed rally there. He
Was
did,
that caught
he
a
did it
hinder?
all that rally. Not to, that's got to be a point.
What did Robbie say? 4, 9.
Oh, it was called a
How
hinder.
about that?
No complaint from Luis.
No, Luis is saying what?
He hasn't learned yet.
Now now
Luis
he's
thought
complaining.
thinks
it
it's a
was
point.
No.
No.
Okay, so now Luis, this is going to be tough. 'cause
I'd like to follow Luis outside the court here and see what he's saying.
I'd like to see.
Okay, does he agree that it wasn't a hinder?
Uh-oh.
All right, point.
excellent
Point.
sportsmanship by McCarthy right there. We have to point that out.
Well, we don't know that.
In no other
No,
sport,
McCarthy
We don't
hasn't
know.
said that.
We
McCarthy
don't know.
overturned the hinder.
We don't know that Robbie
Right.
disagreed, John.
Well, yeah, we do.
He's
because
taken Luis's word for it. We haven't seen Robbie say
5,
that.
9.
Why you got to be like that?
Well, because we know that
Yeah.
for a fact. We haven't heard Robbie say that he
Right.
agrees. That
Short.
he just taken Luis's word
I
for
agree
it.
I
with you,
wouldn't have
Dave.
thunk it, but somebody
Second
agreed.
serve.
Someone agreed with Luis that it wasn't a hinder.
The ref.
I'm going to say it's McCarthy.
Hold it.
I guess the ball hasn't spoken yet.
But when you have a replay after a call like that, I cannot wait to
5,
see how this
9.
rally ends. Does the ball lie?
2 serves.
I'm certain McCarthy wins this rally because ball don't lie.
If it wasn't said in such bad English, it would still be bad.
Oh, there's a nice shot right there
Point.
from
Darn it.
Moreno.
It's over. You can never say it again, ever.
I'm going to say it again.
That's unfortunate.
Game
6,
number 2,
9.
6-9.
Short.
Luis just sticking with that serve to the right, not doing much to the left.
Second serve.
Let's see if he pounds this ball into that left wall. There it is.
It's a good serve.
Actually, ball don't
Do
lie
that
because
again.
that was
Went
a
right
hinder.
by him.
Now that I look back at it.
Thank you, I appreciate
Oh,
it.
okay. So you twisted it.
I'm just saying that I thought it was originally a hinder, and
That's
6,
Luis winning the
9.
next rally confirms that.
Luis is actually
Ball
timing-
don't lie.
professional. Luis can get this.
Oh,
and he
Robbie
does.
has to be so disappointed with
Oh,
himself.
Luis
here.
is going to win this rally now, too.
Hold it.
Oh,
Oh, Luis a little
I was
shaky
letting
on
you
that
play
one.
it. You had a setup. We're doing it
I
over.
agree with the ref here,
but I
yeah.
thought
Now,
Agree
he's
with
talking
the
about the
ref.
call when Luis, not this one, but the one where Luis was on the ground.
Thank you. 6, 9.
Now, I've heard that Robbie has given refs a hard time in Ireland. I've never seen it, though.
He gave me a hard time in his 26-24 victory over net. He made a few random protests.
Point.
I didn't get it all.
Okay.
Of course, when you played him, you were the one doing all the protesting.
7, 9.
Nice shot right there. McCarthy gets that side out.
Nine, 7.
Great serve. John, you see Luis get that momentum when he gets a bad call, or the adrenaline when he gets a bad call against him. It seemed like he had that adrenaline from the start of the match yesterday against Nadi.
10,
Nadi
7.
couldn't really ever break it, and he just rode it all the way to a 2-game sweep. Do you see that, or was it just Nadi totally out of sorts?
First one.
Just Nadi not quite able to match that level anymore. I mean, as recently as 6 months ago he could. But I mean, this is what I see in all the very top guys. At 7 or 11, you think I could get to 21 right now. I'm that good. What?
Let's go quickly, John. Hate to interrupt you after I scolded you for interrupting me, but we're going to get interrupted by Molly Jean Trotter, who has, I believe, Katrina Casey in the grandstands. Molly, what's going on?
That's right, guys. I do have Katrina Casey with me, who is our women's champion that just won just a little bit ago. She's joining me now. Katrina, with the match that's going on right now, it seems like there's a lot. They're pretty similar players. How do you think that? How do you think Robbie's going to come back to try to win this one?
Yeah, like they both are very similar. They're both kind of naturally gifted players, like, and great anticipation. It was interesting to watch them battle to control the centre court, especially in the first game. But I think Robbie, like, he's getting his momentum now. His serve is more effective than it was in the first game, and he looks a bit more relaxed. I suppose he knows he has to go for his shots, like it's all or nothing. And like, I wouldn't write either of them off at this stage, obviously. But yeah, it's great to watch.
Do you think that all the equipment timeouts that Luis took in the first game, do you think that affected Robbie's game at all?
No, I think he's done very well to maintain his concentration, and he's a very cool character, like, so I don't think he'd let that get to him.
All right, thanks, Katrina. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Molly Jean. There with Katrina Casey. Good insight there. Smart girl.
Short ball.
Yeah, while listening, though, to Katrina, Luis hit just a beautiful left-handed paddle re-kill to earn the side out.
And the interview you requested with Robbie Sr., he specifically denied. He said no. Yeah. Because he could, like David Fink said, that would upset the game plan.
Side out.
And that looked like a statement shot.
11-7. Short.
Now they're back on the borderline foot faults. So hard to call. If you're just barely crossing the front line while the ball's traveling across the second line.
I think as a ref, you have to be amazing fadeaway kill. As a ref, you have to be 100% sure that it's a foot fault.
That's how I see it when I'm
7-11. Hold it.
I didn't see the do-over there. I missed that one.
I feel like Luis has
doing an excellent job, but I'm not sure about that one.
I think Luis has had 3 calls go against him in this game.
We saw that, yes. I agree with you. Yeah. And you're right.
7-11.
Wow. Oh, I thought that was good.
Oh, that's 4.
I call it short. 1 agrees.
Wow.
Second serve.
We're going to take a look at that. Oh, okay.
And now we'll know for sure.
Yeah, it was way short. Good call by our ref. Luis thinking the ball doesn't lie because he thought it was short and got an ace on the second serve.
8-11.
Well, we had this discussion before. It's pretty close to 50%, but it sure is fun when it works out. Ask Rasheed, hashtag Rasheed Wallace. But Moreno fans have to be pumped about his second serve. Maybe he's catching on.
Set up.
Great shot from Robbie.
11-8. Point.
Great composure there from Robbie as Luis dives, and Robbie knows Luis is charging to get back up, but he takes his time and hits his spot.
If Luis could get up as fast as Bear Meiring, maybe this point's still going on.
12-8. Set out.
Should Robbie have let that come off the back wall? John, it hit at the dotted line with a lot of power. Sometimes your reflexes just tell you to go for it.
8-12. Short ball.
I'm hoping for a hardly
Second serve.
busted natural into the left side wall. Oh, or that.
Point.
How about that? Did you see that?
Luis now has more second serve
Where did
aces
that
in
come
this
from?
game than first
He
serve.
just randomly throws up a lob serve 8. Like Robbie just blew his mind. That'd be the equivalent of in tennis hitting like a 60-mile-an-hour 5-foot slice. What a game changer that was, though.
10-12. Short ball. Second serve.
Now he goes to the underhand lob. Robbie does get that one back. Underhand lob to the right, though. What do you think of that?
Well, he misdirected him. And Luis now, he needs a timeout here, Robbie. And if you're Robbie, you want to take a timeout before you actually lose the lead.
Luis is like, I'm just brain effing you right now. Look at how I won my last 3 points.
11-12.
McCarthy led 7-1 and 12-8 in this game, now leading by just one. And just. But the way these last 3 points played out, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I've never seen Luis do that.
Second serve.
Okay. He did the fist pump, but then failed to sell it.
Now that's three.
He's just mind effing him.
Three unreturned second serves from Robbie McCarthy in the last 5
Fill in
points.
the words after F, because that's.
And I thought
that
was
was short. It was way short, right?
Yeah, I thought it was short.
But I'm talking about 4 inches short.
Oh, that's a good shot. Wow.
And
Yeah,
that's
Robbie
gonna be
has
the
a
appeal.
Serve, of course, and it'll be a
Both
replay.
disagree.
Yeah, it's gonna be a replay. That's
that's
too
a
bad.
short.
It's tragic that.
Yeah.
And maybe that steals Luis's momentum back. But what a bizarre four-point
serve.
run that was. What's he gonna do now in his second serve? It sounded hard.
Long ball.
Double fault.
He hit it long.
Side out.
He hit it long. And that what a momentum changer that was for the ref to miss the short serve, while Luis is on a 4-point mind-bending run.
12.
Great shot.
Point.
So Robbie has yet to relinquish the lead in this game. Luis briefly held it before that
13-12.
appeal.
Point.
What a bizarre series of events we're seeing right here. This
14-12.
And now Robbie just on fire since winning that appeal and the Luis Moreno double fault.
15-12.
I mean, Luis for 4 points thought, yeah, I'm in your mind now, and it's just totally reversed.
Oh, wow.
Point.
So 2 4-point runs, one by each guy. From 8-12 to 12-12, now
Second
16-12.
And just as dominating as a 4-point run could be in each case.
Right.
Thanks.
Score here is 16-12 after Luis Moreno won the first one, 21-16. We are in game number 2 of the men's finals. It is the Race for 8 brought to you by Ben Edel's newly formed company called Edel Handball. It's edtlhandball.com. Ben is here talking about his gear, and he's also been talking to the crowd. Speaking of the crowd, that's where Molly Jean Trotter is right now. Let's go to her. Molly?
Now, guys, one thing I've noticed is that this entire match so far has been very, very quiet. You know, I've been going around in the audience just trying to ask people, you know, to give me any kind of commentary just of what's going on, what they're seeing, and we have gotten a lot of responses to saying these are very similar players. A great match to watch nonetheless, and they're excited to see, you know, who's going to come out on top and just the energy that's coming out between both of these players. But again, I've just really noticed the silence from everyone. But again, we're just waiting to see here who's going to come out with this win. So that's what I got for you.
Well, Molly, it's sometimes this sort of thing happens when you've got a local crowd that might be somewhat favorite of one guy and don't know the other one. They don't know really who to root for. They're just rooting for good play.
We're in between. We're not in Arizona where everyone's yelling for Luis, and we're not in Ireland where we're yelling for Robbie. So we just kind of have a neutral,
16-12.
as you say, very similar players. Just quietly appreciating the action, but I appreciate that point Molly made. It'd be a lot more vocal if this match were in Ireland. So where's the final next year?
12-16.
Won't know until this is all over with.
Wow.
And look at that laser.
That is incredible. You have to hit the ball so hard to catch that sidewall and keep it down.
But to Molly's point, there should be like 50 people just screaming about a serve like that, just going.
Broken ball, right?
Yes. And what's interesting and what could happen is we may need a new referee for the tiebreakers. Our referee has to leave at 2:30.
And that happened. That happened in the Simple Green tournament one year.
Yes, it did.
It was
and I have a feeling that
shamboozle after that.
I was involved with the first, and I probably will be involved in the second. And I think you know what happened this year when I reffed at the U.S. Open. So
you did a great job.
Thank you.
Just one call I'm a little shaky on, but otherwise, good job.
Warming up this new ball at 13-16. This should benefit Luis Moreno since
he was in the box. Absolutely.
13-16.
He already had that A serve on the left, and now it's a new ball.
Smart to not hit that. A lot of times as a player, you have a bad bounce and hit it anyway.
There's a lot of weird boards here.
Short ball.
Saw one earlier this week over on that left side.
Second serve.
And he's not using the new ball to his advantage here with a lob serve.
I would have just crushed it into the left wall.
But
it is.
Fourth,
it worked.
Second serve ace in this game.
On a lob serve this time again.
14-16.
To go with 3 double faults. But if you're going to say, John, that these guys are about even, which they are, and one guy is getting 4 second serve aces.
Luis, look at that rip down the right wall. That's a game changer right there. You're right. They're so close. You can't have
16-14.
silly mistakes like the previous rally. He did recover well from it, though.
I mean, that would be like Tiger Woods spotting Phil Mickelson 2 shots on the first tee.
In a 4-round tournament, he could.
Set out.
Luis Moreno led 17-14 in the first game and ended up winning 21-16.
Hold it. I didn't see a screen.
Is that unavoidable, Luis looking up at the ref and making those motions in the middle of a play?
But if his opponent doesn't see it.
But he does peripherally. He sees him waving out of the corner of his eye.
Do you think if the opponent complained about it, it could be called an avoidable?
I just don't know the rule. Great left-hand kill. And there's the ambidexterity that's required in this great game. You have to use both hands and both sides of the body equally.
17-14.
Not many sports you can say that besides handball. Huge setup and very similar to the shot that McCarthy missed in the first game at 15-13 that gave Luis Moreno a huge momentum booster.
Potential game changer right there.
I believe it was. Got that circled on my scorecard. And another air.
19-14.
setup here, Luis. Checks it up. Robbie doesn't make him pay, though. This is going to be a bigger checkup.
Side out.
Sloppy rally there.
Very sloppy at the ending, certainly. Well, actually, there was a beginning, middle, and an ending that were all sloppy there. 14-19, we're streaming at ESPN3.com. It's the men's final, second game. Luis Moreno wins the first one, 21-16. Scrapes that off the bottom of the ground. Wow. Somehow Luis was able to pop that with an underhand fist, and Robbie did not get his back. Let's look at that replay. Luis goes down on both knees actually and slides in with that fist shot.
Who would you rather be now, John, serving or receiving?
Well, because Luis won game one, I think McCarthy's heavily favored in this game still, but I'd like to have one game in hand.
Serve.
But in a vacuum.
At 15-19 in a vacuum, no. You want 19 in most cases. That won't shift. It'll be 16 and a half. Between 16 and 17 in my mind where it shifts. Here comes 16. Okay, so right now we're on the board.
Yeah. Robbie had been winning all of his close games. And he needs a shirt change.
That? Shirt?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 minutes.
You might get to hear about what motivates Luis Moreno here during this 2-minute break as our engineers roll that clip.
Let's go ahead and see what motivates Robbie McCarthy, and then we'll go in to see what motivates Luis Moreno. I would like to see what they both have to say. I think we have plenty of time.
Well, my father always said if you're going to play it properly, I suppose. There's no point in half doing anything. He drives me a lot, I suppose, in a way, and mentally just trying to. I don't like losing, really. So then again, if someone beats me, I have to try and get back to be even stronger again. So between losing and my father driving me on, it really helps.
I think that sums it up. He's really bringing up his father and that motivation, and there is Father Robbie Sr. giving him that. And let's see what motivates Luis Moreno. He's got a different perspective on this whole thing.
I'm really just going out there every time, and I'm not even worried about the score or anything or who I'm playing against, and I'm just kind of like working on a mold, and I still have a lot of work to do, so I'm just happy that I'm healthy and feeling really good. I just try to motivate myself really by listening to music and reading and writing, and I'm actually like more inspired, and I feel like I've learned a lot more within the last year and even like the last 6 months. So I'm just really proud of myself and happy that I'm able to do what I love, and I'm just happy to be here.
That's Moreno.
And the green laser. He didn't bring the green laser up at all.
I think that motivates him as well. Luis Moreno here in game number 2 finds himself down 16-19, but is serving. And we could see some late drama here. Perhaps we go into a tiebreaker and get more there at 11-10 to find out who's going to win that $20,000 and the, as you say, Dave, the Player of the Year award, the Players Championship. Salt Lake City, Utah, at the Sports Mall, where we are giving you this final conclusion of the Race for 8 season number 3. The two hottest players in this tournament, Robbie McCarthy and Luis Moreno. For a time there, that spell, we thought it was Mondo Ortiz was the hottest player, but then Robbie just walked right through him.
Well, no, he didn't walk through him. He just by the skin of his teeth in the second game.
2 wins in a row makes you the hottest player, though, in this booth.
Short ball. Second serve.
Big setup.
Hold it.
Luis has to be frustrated with himself there.
That's a Luis Moreno like 90%er. That's 90% of the time. That's
16-19.
wasn't the best shot Robbie could have taken right there. Ah, that was a bad one too from Luis.
Was there contact?
Oh, this is, I'm not sure about
Wow.
this. Sometimes there is contact.
He's going to let the player talk him into it. There was contact, but it's really late for that call.
Just because there's contact doesn't mean he could have had it either.
Boy, that was almost a perfect shot from Robbie McCarthy too.
No argument from McCarthy.
Well, he's staying focused.
Short.
His dad's told him to expect a bad call. You're in America.
Point.
The knock on Luis is that sometimes when it gets
what
really
Luis
tight.
did right there is what I love. Just ripped the ball with a massive hook 2 feet high.
17-19.
There's no downside to that for him.
Short ball.
Sorry.
Second serve. Side out.
Great shot from Robbie.
If McCarthy gets these last 2 points, it's only going to be an 11 points for all the money. Hopefully, almost, but not quite an hour of entertainment yet.
19-17.
Short ball, I thought.
I saw it short.
Didn't say short.
Second serve.
No arguing, no appeal. There's the
I saw
appeal.
it short and both agree.
I saw
Second
it
serve.
short.
It was way short.
Yeah, that's 3 inches there.
That's really awkward.
You hear the referee say that was really awkward. He knew he said it wrong.
Great
Oh, look at that
shot.
shot. Luis goes revolving door back down the left, 2 inches high, gets back into the service box, 17-19.
Well, this is exactly where we want to be. We have the 2 hottest players based on our last 2 matches.
Short.
Luis playing a 4-point game for all the
short,
marbles.
both agree.
Robbie trying to get just to extend things.
Second serve.
You couldn't have drawn this up better. The #1 ranked U.S. player, 4 points short of a victory.
Is it broken? He gets 2 serves.
Brilliant. That's the correct call. If Robbie's not going to be happy with it, but that's the correct call.
Out of balls.
And we're out of ball. We have no more handballs in the state of Utah, except for that private stash Dave Vincent has.
And you have to know when Luis Moreno is playing that you need to take about 10 cans to the court.
Well, we gave
what sport is
we
there?
gave the referee multiple cans. You might recall
Jessica,
that, and
can
he
you
refused to
tell
take them all.
Dave Fink that he has to get up here and do the rest?
We're at 2:30, as a matter of fact. So we're going to switch hats here. We're going to switch magic hats.
Dave.
We're taking a quick in the booth break here as Dave Fink is now
right
going
there.
to get a hold of the lead of referees, and
I got to go to the airport.
our referee did not think this was going to be a 2-hour match. He had to go to the airport, but took on this assignment thinking that this would be fairly quick, but it is not. And now we're going to have a...
We were fortunate to get that much on at the show.
Anthony Celesto is going to come up and take over for Emmett Peixote here in this extended timeout. Now, this certainly is a momentum breaker, but then again, if you think about it, nobody really has any momentum right now. Luis was the last one to have it, but he scored 1 point, and then there was a side out, and then he got back in, a side out, a broken ball. The only thing that I can see here is it's a distraction that these guys, you know, might be thrown off just a little bit, because you can get kind of tight if you don't hit the ball after a while.
Well, now they're dealing with a change of referee, Dave, which is very unusual.
All right, guys. Hello?
Really almost
right,
never happens.
Actually, in handball, it seems to happen a lot.
Robbie Luis. 17 plays. Where am I looking? Oh, 19.
Excellent.
Play resumes.
Way to take charge.
17 plays 19.
but they have drawn the #1 rated referee.
Short on the line.
By Teen Magazine.
Short on the line. You appeal? One agrees, one disagrees. Short ball.
I thought the ball hit the line. I thought he was right.
What a call to walk into. Your
Yeah,
very first call is a 90-mile-per-hour
serve.
bullet that's on the line.
And nobody ever walks into a call in any sport ever, so that just makes it more dramatic.
Oh, no.
No, Luis, that was down.
Oh, I
It was
disagree.
down.
Now, it's similar to baseball, John, where you've got one referee with one strike zone, another referee might be a lot more liberal.
Oh, I think Luis gets.
19 plays 17.
I think Luis sold it excellently, and I would 51% give him that call. That was a really good, like the 2 toughest calls ever.
Oh,
That ball just took off.
I thought it slid.
Point.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Well, if it did slide,
Only at the
Luis,
U.S. Open would matter.
Luis could have washed it off if it, or dried it off if it slid. He didn't ask for the ball.
I'm gonna punish this one. Look at that.
Not enough punishment, though.
Wow, right on that
Wow.
wall, Luis
Cat
gets it.
Casey, wind it up and roll it out.
Unbelievable shot right there from Luis Moreno. Gets the side out.
And that ball's right on the side
17
wall.
plays 20.
4 points away from $20,000, or he'll have it more
Screen
after
ball.
this.
That was a finger tip breaker.
2 serves, 17 plays 20. Short.
Gosh. Does he go to that lob serve again?
Second serve.
Robbie just misses it every time. Got that one back.
Side out.
Who's clapping for the mess?
20 plays 17.
This could be it right here, guys.
Hold on.
Luis is frustrated, but I don't know
Pretty
how.
neutral shot.
I don't know what else could happen there. I don't think Luis really wanted that ball to go off the back wall. It was dying down there.
Over 20 plays 17. Short.
That's it?
Oh, I thought that
Short
was
ball.
good.
Good appeal.
Appeal. One concede, one agrees. Short ball.
Whew. Wow, that
Second
looks like it's
serve.
good to me. No, it isn't.
Fist pump should have said
Fist
it.
pump sold you. That's
Yeah.
Robbie knew it was
I
short.
went against my own.
When he threw the fist pump up, he knew it was short.
There it is. Robbie gets it. There's a fist pump. Robbie takes Luis Moreno to a tiebreaker. Moreno will get the first serve
5
in
minutes,
game number
gentlemen.
3. There will be a 5-minute break here. That was a beautiful shot. Look at that fist pump from Robbie McCarthy. Let's go to Molly Trotter. I believe she has somebody in the gallery. Molly, what's going on?
Hi guys, I'm sitting right next to Ben Edel, sponsor for the tournament here. So Ben, you got some of your sponsored athletes. Robbie McCarthy is a sponsored athlete. We heard there are talks with Luis Moreno. How do you feel that last game? How did you feel that went for Luis?
Yeah, I mean, I think Luis played really, really well. McCarthy's a grinder. He's going to grind back. It doesn't matter if he's down 10. He will make you work hard, and he can come back in a game, and that's McCarthy for you.
And I know for the whole, everybody's just on their edge of their seat at this match right here, and so it's very quiet. And so why do you think it's so quiet? That's one thing I don't understand. Maybe as a reporter, just enlighten me.
Yeah, I'll enlighten you. It's quiet because everyone's in awe of how amazing these handball athletes really are. They're just playing incredibly.
And so who do you think is going to come out in the second game? Because obviously both these players make each other work really hard. So like you were telling me earlier, if Robbie was playing anybody else, it'd be a completely different score. How do you think they're going to grind it out in this next game?
I think it's going to be really fun to watch. McCarthy's team Edel, Luis Moreno, we've been in talks for some time, and I think we're going to put something together here. So I love both these men, but they're fantastic athletes, and I'm telling you what, stay tuned because it's going to be a great match to watch.
All right, thanks, Ben. Back to you guys.
It's already been a great match to watch. It's going to be a great conclusion of this match to watch here in the tiebreaker. Dave, we started at, what time was it, 1 o'clock in the Mountain Time? We're at 1:35 and still have a tiebreaker to go. And there's going to be a lot more, 2:35 Mountain Time. So we still have a lot more time to go here. This could be, it's going to be a 2-hour marathon, right?
Well, more than likely. I mean, at this pace, you'd expect a tiebreaker to take at least a half an hour. So, we're bound to see a thrilling conclusion. I mean, these guys, nothing has separated them. After an hour and 35 minutes of play, Luis Moreno scored one more point than Robbie McCarthy. So clearly these guys are just about dead even. I think as a fan, we're all hoping to see an 11-10 tiebreaker, and I think we could very well see it.
Yeah, this is really amazing here. I kind of think that some people predicted, the insiders predicted this could be a tiebreaker. Others thought that maybe Luis Moreno could just run off and score points like you saw Mondo Ortiz do against Paul Brady in that second game. I mean, just everybody has their own opinion what they thought they would see, but right now we're really getting what should be done. And that is a tiebreaker between two guys that are really going to leave everything out there. And if it's 2 hours or if it's 4 hours, you're still going to see them hit those flat rollouts. You're going to see extended long rallies, a lot of little scoops to the front, and what they've been doing to, as we're seeing in this preview here, you're going to see a lot more of this for the next 35 minutes or so.
And it's really cool, Dave, because a lot of times in the biggest final, you don't see necessarily the closest matches because one guy might be spent from getting to the final. But here we're seeing both guys pretty fresh and on top of their games. It's really anybody's game here in this tiebreaker. Of course, McCarthy winning that second game, but I wouldn't say that he has any more momentum than Luis Moreno right now going into the tiebreaker.
I don't know what time we have here on the shot clock. I did not look to see.
There's about 2.5 minutes left in this break.
You're watching the WPH Players Championship Men's Finals, Salt Lake City, Utah, at the Sports Mall where the season finale is happening at this moment, where all season long the players have vied for the most points, and those that were in the top 8 of the rankings were invited here. Kind of interesting happenings on the first night when we had the blind draw. All of this drama comes from what Robbie McCarthy did when he picked, when Mondo Ortiz picked to play Paul Brady in the opening round as opposed to going after perhaps Luis Moreno. And if he was going to play like that, he could have taken him down. This could be a Moreno versus McCarthy. A Mondo Ortiz versus McCarthy thing, because he could have. I mean, things could have been different. I'm just saying that right now it's different today because of what happened on that opening night when we had that blind draw ceremony. And even if you want to take a step further back, Robbie McCarthy wasn't even in this tournament a week ago. He didn't even have time to prepare for this, and said, I was taking time off after the senior championship.
And the guy who didn't accept the invitation could have won this tournament also. He's one of our strongest players. So, of course, a lot of different things could have happened. Robbie McCarthy could have said, you know what, I'm going to choose Luis Moreno to play in the first round, and then they could have obviously not played in the finals had they played in the first round. Instead, he chose Emmett Peugeot playing into Paul Brady because he wanted to play Paul Brady, but he doesn't get to play Paul Brady because of the upset. Now it's Robbie McCarthy, who came in as the number 9 ranked player on our tour. He's in the finals, and he's 11 points away from winning the Players' Championship.
And we're going to get ready for that right now as we go back to that show court here. As Moreno, I can see him putting the gloves on. I know someone just said that we're right at about the 45-second mark before these guys get back onto the court. The players are both of these players getting on the court here. Get that referee to get us back into play here at ESPN.
I want to first make a shout out to our referee. I know the referee is supposed to be invisible and it's thankless, but this is a young man who jumped into this spotlight at 19-17 in the second game in the biggest match in the last 10 years.
Tiebreaker to 11
That's
points.
not an easy task, Dave.
I know it isn't.
And there's a look at Anthony Celesto, who is really coming through here for the World Players of Handball. And for the sport of handball, really. This is being watched in Ireland, the Middle East, Asia, and of course here in the United States.
Second serve.
The first player to 11 points wins $20,000 in cash.
And for those who might just be tuning in, you have to serve to score.
Point.
And you only need to win by 1.
Moreno wearing the LG1.
1 play 0.
Yellow jersey here.
What a great return from
Robbie.
Robbie.
No. Robbie somehow got that, threw his hand up in the air as if to say it could be 2 bounces.
That's Luis's shot right there. That's his bread and butter, Dave. We've seen it 1,000 times. He's able to get himself in perfect position when that ball pops off the sidewall. Nobody else in the game does this.
And then the ball hops away with a slight little reverse, too, with that underhand fist. But you're right. I mean, we've seen it a lot.
Second serve.
Great second serve.
Oh, and Luis hits that ball back to the front wall, almost makes it, and Robbie now back into the server's box here. He is trailing 0-2. We're going to 11.
That was an amazing point from Robbie McCarthy.
Wow. Why did Luis come in there like that?
He overplayed.
Point. 1 plays 2.
Oh, that looked good all the way. It's one of those shots, Dave, when you hit it, you think it's perfect. It came off just how you wanted it, and then it misses by 1 inch.
2 plays 1.
Lost a little bit of altitude. Yeah, it looked really good right out of the barrel.
Ender ball.
It's kind of like, Dave, when you hit a 10-foot putt and you think there's no way it's not going to go in, and it just,
ball,
for whatever reason, breaks off and maybe lips out. That's the same kind of thing. That was a close call on that hinder,
2 plays
Dave.
1 over.
Yeah, I think Luis is trying to thread the needle over there and hit that side wall, and it just is not working for him. But you're right, it was close.
Robbie, that was down.
So that point's going to be awarded to Luis Moreno. Look how low Luis got there. For those at home, that was the third bounce that Robbie picked that ball up on.
Now you have to say the momentum's with Moreno here. 8 points from 20,000. Wow.
Boy,
Robbie
Luis
definitely needs a timeout right now, Dave.
He looks really calm on that kill shot.
I said that in the second game, though, and he scored 4 points in a row after Luis had put together a big run.
Short ball.
Luis is not making the adjustment on that serve to the right. He's consistently coming up short. Oh, my gosh. I don't know if that would have made it.
And that's going to be a replay now, because nobody knows if it would have made it.
What do you think?
Doing it over 4 plays 1.
Didn't sound like it came off clean on his hand.
Yeah, there was a little smack there, wasn't it?
Short ball.
And there it is again.
He appeals. Both agree.
Dave, these aren't even coming close. These are a foot to 2 feet short. Wow, Robbie McCarthy sets his feet on the run, and drills a kill shot.
1 plays 4. Short ball.
See what Robbie does here.
Second serve.
With his second serve. I think this is an effective second serve against Luis. There's an overhit. Robbie gets it.
Point.
This has become my first serve against Luis in practice, just for this reason alone.
2 plays 4.
Oh, Robbie makes a terrible mistake there.
Luis had chances there, just didn't go for the bottom board and gave Robbie that opportunity, and Robbie misses it.
4 plays 2.
Huge error.
One of these things that Robbie does that I don't see a lot of people doing against Luis is Luis likes to drive balls down the wall, slide balls, and Robbie seems to catch up to almost all of them. Like, as if to say, Luis's power is not really effective against Robbie deep in the court. That ball hit Robbie.
Hit you. Thank you.
I'd like to see Luis get behind that ball a little bit more and shoot it straight down the
Check
right
ball,
wall.
4 plays 2 over.
Oh, no.
That's 2 errors in the last 3 rallies for Robbie. 1 with the left and 1 with the right. Both shots that he should never miss.
Did he lose his energy here? Or because he's not hitting those hard,
Short
though.
ball.
I mean, he could put a little extra MPHs on those. They
Well, I
seem
think
like
the
he's
left-hand
guiding.
miss was just a miss. That right-hand miss, he did look like he took something off of it. Great second serve.
I like that return. And Luis does it?
No, misses it.
Wow.
Should have taken that with his left hand. Instead, he jams himself trying to take it with his right.
2 plays 5.
Maybe he lost it in the glass there, Dave. It's the only thing I can think. Oh, and Luis going the wrong way as Robbie pinches the corner with a sharp angle.
3 plays 5.
Thought that could have been a hinder.
I saw some contact. Referee letting him play.
Wow.
There's Robbie getting his 4th point and making this one a nail biter again. And just like you said earlier in that first game, as soon as Luis had that lead, Robbie comes back and gets 4 points on his own. This is 3 points now for Robbie.
Well, we talked about the nerves not really being a factor in handball because you're reacting. I can guarantee you now the butterflies
4
are chirping
5.
for both guys. They're feeling it in their legs.
Short ball. He appeals.
That one could have been good.
One agrees, one didn't see. It's a short ball.
There's one that's just not seen this short.
Second serve.
I don't know who that is as a line judge, but it needs to be corrected.
Well, they've got 2 very good line judges.
Yeah, but one is consistently not seeing it. There must be a
Green.
reason for that.
He was right behind you, Luis.
Dave, I really don't want to dwell on this, but if you have 5 or 6 or 7 times that a line judge isn't
4
seeing
plays
it,
5
don't you
over.
think that's pretty much grounds to get a new line judge?
But you don't know which one is disagreeing. It could be different one each time.
Okay. But it's certainly the same one multiple times. There's only 2.
Hold on.
Luis is not shooting the ball, Dave, and this has been something that has plagued Luis. When it gets really close, he just starts driving the ball rather than killing it. Robbie will just keep flipping those balls back into play and waiting for his opportunity.
4 plays 5 over.
That was a weird shot.
Yeah. Great shot from Robbie.
And we're all together at 5 now as Robbie is trying to get the last 6 points. Who can get the 6? You get 6, you get 20,000. I said that to Robbie.
Together at 5.
Hey, you have one more win here today, and he said, "I wasn't the money I wanted." It's Paul Brady. I find that odd right before a final match, but
I think he does that to take pressure off of himself. When you aren't playing for the money, there's not nearly as much pressure. Also, you say, hey, I wanted to play Paul Brady anyway, so this is just no big deal for me. Wow. And Robbie's pretty much tracked down every ball that wasn't an inch high, but that time just a little extra zip on it.
Side out.
This is the hardest ball Luis has hit in the entire match, 92 miles per hour.
actually the hardest in the tournament so far. Inside out had Robbie leaning, and Robbie gets a side out, and he's back in serving again.
What looked like was an ace for Luis Moreno turns into a kill shot for Robbie McCarthy.
How can Robbie be that fast to be fooled enough to get back underneath that ball and kill it?
Short.
Oh, and Robbie almost gave him the exact same serve. These guys are trading heir apparent type serves. This is a smart shot from Robin. He goes for a kill shot from the overhand sidearm whip and gets his 6th point. Did you see that shot?
Yeah.
Look at this. Very Sean Lenning-like.
Timeout, your first.
Luis goes with a lower
6
return
plays 5
here.
when we
And watch what
resume.
Robbie does.
Robbie
I
will
have
be
you pinned
serving
behind
1
me. I'm
minute.
going to this corner. See you.
You know, you have the right spin to take that shot, hit the front wall, and then the side wall and keep it down. Just one of those things you know from years of playing handball that if you hit it a certain way, it will catch the side wall and stay down. It's something that's
feeling,
hard to,
right?
Yeah, it's a feeling, and it's hard to even describe it, but it's just something you know. When the situation comes up, you can feel, okay, this is my opportunity to hit that, and it may only come up once a match or once in a whole tournament.
Yeah, and it's really weird. You think to yourself, why don't I just do this every single shot? Because the ball is right there, but for some reason, something in your brain says, this is about 97% chance I'm going to do this, and it always seems to be pretty close to that number of execution. And Robbie felt it, and he dealt it as well, and he gets that point now at 6-5 here with a tiebreaker in game number 3. Robbie McCarthy and Luis Moreno, and ESPN3.com, as we are giving you this live coverage from the Sports Mall, Salt Lake City, Utah.
The highest compliment to any pro is when his peers are watching him, and I can tell you, Dave, all of the pros are watching. If they're not here, they're watching on ESPN3. They're all glued. Wow. What a shot.
Dave, that takes a lot of patience and poise to take that left-handed kill shot right there.
Side out. 5, play 6.
Robbie was waiting for that. Not sure about why Luis took that shot.
Robbie's adjusted to Luis's hops here.
Yeah, but
this match is worn on.
He didn't even have to move his feet for 3 straight shots.
No.
Right down the right. There it is.
Terrible mistake from Luis there. Got sloppy, casual with that fly kill.
Robbie's so automatic right here. Look at this beautiful shot from Robbie McCarthy.
Great shot. Remember, Robbie was tied with Paul Brady at 5 in the finals of the NYC race stop. Ended up losing that 11-6. Now he's got a 6-5 lead.
Oh, this is a big setup for Luis. Over hit.
Oh my gosh.
What is Robbie doing there?
Robbie's 3rd unforced error here in this tiebreaker, and each one seems like they've just been critically important.
Like each one, oh, there was a little wrinkle there from Moreno. Another ball that's going to be a setup for Robbie.
Wow. Oh. Incredible shot.
Luis put that wrinkle that forced Robbie to get down onto the floor there. And Robbie was able to kill it in the right corner. Let's look at a replay.
Luis actually gives him a high 5 after this shot.
Robbie went from what looked like he was going to hit a punch fist, then had to open up his hand at the last second. I think that might have helped him with his control just a little bit. Backhanded flip. Luis gets it in a perfect spot, too. Party ball.
We should let that come off the left side wall.
Look at Robbie putting the pressure on.
He fools him there. Should take this out of the air, but he doesn't.
Oh, Robbie resets the action now. This is an interesting rally, and a swing and a flub over there on the left wall, and Robbie McCarthy gets his 7th point. Thought maybe Moreno might call a timeout here.
It looks like he might be a little
Robbie,
fatigued.
timeout. 7 plays 5. Rob will be serving. 1 minute.
Dave, you talked a lot about how similar these guys are. I think what makes them so similar is they're what I would call in-between game. When you're not able to really shoot the ball, but you're just kind of digging the ball, they both have those soft hands where they can keep balls alive, balls that are hit right at their feet, and also picking up re-kills and flipping them back and not making them setups.
Well, both players make each other have to be perfect in order to win, and what we're seeing is some of these rallies are ending with either that real crisp kill shot in the front. You're not seeing any pass shots being won by anybody because they track everything down, or a flub like that because of a great ceiling shot. So, you know, they're both kind of doing it to each other. Robbie, right now, the benefactor of a nice run. Luis was up 4-1. Robbie on a 6-1 run here in the tiebreaker. And it was right when you said this is about the time in the second game when this exact same thing happened and Robbie scored 4 straight points. Well, Robbie has 6 now. And it's just 4 points away from the big prize purse and the player championship award trophy that will be presented to Robbie McCarthy on this show, Court.
So you've already etched that.
Or Luis Moreno.
Oh, okay.
I said 4 points away.
Okay.
I was talking about Robbie. Now, of course, Moreno needs to get back into the box and see if he can locate a serve that I don't think he's really found yet.
Top 16 pro Luis Cordova texting me just now that Robbie McCarthy's just playing a lot more aggressively right now, and that's why he's on the verge of winning this championship.
You guys ready? Play will resume. 7 plays 5.
Terrible air there from Luis, and Robbie is now feeling it, Dave. He's seeing the finish line.
8-5.
And Robbie loses his footing and still keeps this alive. Oh my gosh.
That was crazy, and the crowd now getting really involved.
And that was nerves there, Dave. It had to be.
5 plays 8.
Robbie knowing he's so close to winning, and this was crazy here. Amazing coordination. Luis just doesn't seem like he has any kind of system in place that can score him points right now.
8 plays 5.
Uh-oh, flub. And Robbie now 2 points away from getting the final championship check.
He has 9. Play is 9-5.
I think Robbie feels this.
Yeah,
right
here's
now.
another setup.
Oh, look at that dive. And look at Robbie McCarthy now at the 10th point. Luis Moreno gave him everything he can possibly give here. And look at that emotion from Robbie McCarthy, son of Robert. Look at his face, Dave.
Oh, he can feel it.
Look at him. Robbie's shaking right now.
I think we all are.
Boy, Robbie's so amped up right now. I've never seen this
Match point,
from
plays
him.
5.
I think he got that crack. Luis gets it back. I think Robbie has it here. And Luis somehow
Oh my gosh.
gets that ball back, and listen to the pounding on the back glass and the crowd going nuts.
Robbie had his arms half raised with the title in hand.
How did that ball not hit Luis right there?
Luis comes flying out of nowhere, maybe even more spectacularly, doesn't get hit by his own shot.
That is unreal, Dave. Look how close. If we can slow this down right when Luis gets out of the way right here.
Amazing.
Wow.
If Luis hits that to the left, the point's over because he's out of position. He has to go back down the right, which brings hitting himself into play.
Just I can't believe how he didn't hit himself with that ball. You saw from that first camera angle on the right, when the ball came back, there was just a small little tiny opening between the fabric of his shirt and the floor, and the ball went right through that opening as he slinked away from a ball that he hit there on purpose to stay away from McCarthy. And now the crowd putting their hands together here.
All right, play resumes. 5 plays 10.
Let's look at it really quick. There's that opening.
Great shot. Dave, Luis Moreno scored his 5th point at 2:46 local time. Hasn't scored since. It's 15 minutes.
This could be it right here.
Wow.
There it is. Robbie McCarthy does it. He takes down the #1 player, Luis Moreno, wins $20,000 in cash. Robbie McCarthy, with his fists in the air, the Players Champion from 2014, defeats Luis Moreno 11-5, and he's slapping the front wall.
Get up.
Wow.
Nice job, gentlemen.
Oh, that was an elite shot, too. Fadeaway, a la Luis Moreno. Robbie McCarthy here almost shedding a tear. In fact, those very well could be tears coming out of his eyes. Robbie McCarthy, front court. Look at this. He can't believe it. Unreal play from Robbie, and watch this embrace that he's going to get from his father. I did this for you, Dad. Look at his dad is crying. That's the way it's done. His father has tears. He went in there, didn't want to steal the moment from his son. Went in there really quickly, gave him that hug. Got right out of the court quickly. That's class right there. Boy. What an emotional chain of events. Robbie goes for it right there, gets that kill shot down the left wall, and closes out our #1 player on tour And now you see Ben Edel from Edel Handball going up to one of his sponsored athletes, shaking his hand. Congratulations to one of his horses, Robbie McCarthy, the winner of the 2013-14 Players Championship by the World Players of Handball here at racefor8.com. And you see Robbie McCarthy getting a big hug right there. The whole family coming in and congratulating their son, Robbie McCarthy, who's looking for winning pretty much every title he can this year, and he's on track to do so. In every single code that he's been playing, he's been winning. Robbie said, you know, I'll do that interview. I just need to have a drink here. I know that we're going to have the award presentation. Our David Fink now putting his hands onto Robbie McCarthy's. And Molly Jean Trotter trying to get him to simmer down just a little bit. It's a tough situation after you win such an emotional match like this to have enough breath and poise to even talk, and that's certainly what Molly Jean Trotter is trying to work out right now. As Robbie said, I just need a moment before I can get on here. It looks like it's organized chaos in this court, but really it isn't. Robbie just needs a moment. We're certainly going to give it to him, and now Molly's going to walk over to Robbie right now. Molly, what's going on here?
Well, it seems like Robbie is catching his breath, and as he should, he just played an exciting, very exciting match, probably the most exciting here all weekend. Now, Robbie, as you are catching your breath, how did you feel how this match went with
I don't really remember.
What do you remember?
Just that last shot. I think it hit the top of my finger. But, oh no, truly, Luis is a great player. It's always going to be tough to try and compete with Luis. He played really well today. I just want to say thanks to him for the game, and I wish him all the best. I know there's going to be more tough battles in the future with Luis.
Now, for throughout the weekend, you don't really show a lot of emotion, but when you hit that last shot and you threw your arm up in the air, I mean, just tell me what that moment was like for you.
I don't like to come and talk about my handball, but I have a fella back home that works with me, and the idea is come and play your handball and see how far it gets you. Test yourself, don't be telling other people what your plans are. My plan was to just come here, and like, I was lucky to get in. It was only Alan Garner pulled out. I was gone. To get in here, it was amazing. And Dave Vincent sent me an email, and straight away accepted. But like, just to get here to test myself again, like, I'm due a break now, thank God. But I don't even know if I'm saying tell you the truth.
Well, you're saying good stuff. Now, Dave Fink is joining me here presenting your trophy. I'm sure he has a few words.
Thank you very much, Molly. First of all, Robbie, congratulations. We're so proud to have you as our 2014 WPH Players Champion. On behalf of the WPH and all of handball, I'd like to award you with this Players Championship Cup. You'll see that your name will be alongside Luis Moreno and Paul Brady and Robbie McCarthy, three of the greatest players in the last 15 years. We can't be more proud to have you on that trophy and to have you as part of our tour. It's wonderful to have your family here with you, to be able to celebrate with us, Mr. McCarthy, your dad, and also Aoife, your sister. So, Robbie, on behalf of everyone here, I want to congratulate you. I know that they've got a jacket that's awarded to the winner here every year that you're going to get to enjoy as well. But I want to say, it looks like you have something.
Yeah, the biggest thing I forgot to do was probably thank the most important person that came with me this time. Only for him we'd have nothing, so I say thanks to Robbie for making the trip.
It's amazing to see the connection between fathers and sons in this game, and it's really incredible to watch the bond between the two of you. I know that you guys talked a lot during the match. I'm sure he helped you through it. But, Robbie, we're so proud of you. Congratulations. Dave, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dave Fink. Congratulations to Robbie McCarthy, all of those that helped out with this live broadcast. He is now being presented with a amazing award that they had started here, a player's jersey. Look at this thing, if we could zoom in, there it is. This is the Purple Jersey Award going to Robbie McCarthy, and the round of applause from the crowd here. The purple jersey is handed to the champion of the Aces tournament, which is our Players Championship this year. And Robbie, he's never been more happy than to get that jacket on. What a perfect color for him. It's a purple jersey. He still can't believe it. He's holding on to that Players Perpetual Trophy, and now they're going to have the photo booth. Photographers come in. Robbie wearing his jacket. This is going to be one of those that you look back 30 years from now and you see Robbie standing there with his handball gear on, his handball gloves, and a purple jacket, and you're going to wonder, what were they doing back in the 2014s? What a great production. I want to thank everybody involved as we slowly fade out here and get back to our regular lives. But for Robbie McCarthy, it's a $20,000 check, the Players Champion Award, and all the accolades he'll get back home from taking down the #1 player on the Race for 8 Tour, Luis Moreno. We're going to say goodbye. For those that have helped out with this live broadcast, Dave Fink, Lolita DeVinson, as well as Linda Manning, Omar Lemus, Chris Garrad, Jeff Kastner, Gene Kazumoto Kastner, John Bike. I know there's even more on that list, Anthony Celesto. My name is Dave Vincent. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN, and the World Players of Handball. Good night.